Okay, we're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Styles UK Friday lunchtime live. It has been a minute since we've done one of these, hasn't it, Beth?
Yes, it has.
We feel a little bit out of practice today. We've had a very busy month. We've been to FESPA in Berlin. We had Workwear Reimagined here at Styles UK HQ, the Innovation Centre. We hosted one of our in-house events. There's just been a lot going on, to be honest with you. And yeah, we have not done a Friday lunchtime live for a while, but we are back. We're back in the swing of things, and we're kicking things off with a subject I'm hoping you guys are going to find interesting today. We're talking all about how to decorate sport apparel, more specifically tennis. Now, I want to do multiple different versions of this live covering different markets and different sports, because the apparel market for sports and like keeping fit as a hobby for people, as well as like professionally, is massive across the UK and across Europe. And the opportunity for those of you that own heat presses is huge. However, like I said, there's a lot of opportunities. So I want to break it down into sections. Now, because Wimbledon is on the horizon, I figured it would be a good place to start with the tennis side of things, the tennis market. So we're going to talk a little bit today about why you should consider printing for the tennis market, why it's a good opportunity if you have a heat press. We've got a range of different garments and types of fabrics to decorate onto today that we're going to show you how to do with the two heat presses that I've got here with me. And we're going to talk about how to successfully apply to these, and again, why that is important. So we've got a lot in store for you today. So grab some food, grab some snacks, grab a coffee, settle down, and make sure you're ready to ask those questions. Beth is behind the camera as always, ready to reel off your questions today. So yeah, as always, let us know where you're watching from, what your business name is, and any questions you may have. Beth, anything to add on the intro?
Well, it wouldn't be our first Friday lunchtime live back without possibly a technical issue. So somebody on Instagram's just said, I can't hear anything. Now, this does happen all the time.
Oh, really?
Because sometimes it's not even us. Sometimes their volume is just down. So
try upping the volume, people.
Let us know, guys. I've just seen Mel has joined us. She can let us know if
Mel, let us know if you can hear us
sound on Instagram. We'll give it a little second and then we'll just continue.
Okay, hopefully everyone can hear us. If we keep getting comments about sound problems, then we'll pause and have a bit of a reset. But at the moment, I think we should be okay. Hopefully everyone on Facebook and that, Bev's giving me the thumbs up. Okay, we're good. Brilliant. So let's, before we get started in the actual live, for those of you that are joining us and don't know who Styles are, we are the leaders in heat print technology. We manufacture the world's leading heat press equipment. We make the world's best heat transfers. We are leaders in education in this space. So anything and everything heat printing and apparel decoration, this is your absolute dream, basically. We post everything you need to know to be successful, start, grow, and scale garment decoration businesses. The reason that we do our Friday lunchtime lives, that made me jump, sorry. That made me jump as well. Ignore that, that's the compressor. Everyone can still hear me because this has happened before. I've lost my train of thought now. What were we talking about? The Friday lunchtime live education. The reason that we do this, and as I said, we haven't done it for a couple of weeks, but we'll get back into doing them every week, every other week, is so that we can do live decoration with you guys and have you ask questions. We cover a range of different topics, and it's a really great opportunity for everyone to just like connect. We always have garment decorators in the comments chatting with each other. People ask questions live, we test stuff out. And yeah, it's just a great way for us to communicate with you and for you to get your questions answered in real time. So like I said, we do these every week, every other week on a range of different topics. The compressor has finally calmed down now, thank goodness. That was very loud. So that's what we're going to do today. Do we have any of our regulars joining us?
Couple of comments coming in. Mel says, hi, by the way. Hi, Mel. And then lots of people on Instagram saying, yep, sound okay. A couple of people saying, I can hear, but very low. So we're just going to say, turn your volume up.
Turn your volume up, people. I'm not going to shout because I am wearing microphones, so I'm not going to deafen everyone else.
And then we've got Lion Dig Verbs on, oh my God, YouTube, I was going to say. It says, hi, seems like a while since I managed to make one of these live. I've been watching them on catch up. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you can watch the lives on catch up. Obviously, we would love you guys to join us live because we love chatting with you and answering your questions. We feel like we connect more when you join us live on a Friday, but they are all available to watch on catch up on demand. It always sounds like we're talking about like Netflix or Prime, like available on demand. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody has asked, are we talking about the cat press today?
Do you want to do a little spin for those people that are asking? Can you do a little pano?
Bear with, I was unprepared for the movement. There we go.
So we are talking about the cat press today. So stay tuned to have your questions answered about this machine. We're going to cover it in the second portion of the live event.
Yeah, that's it so far.
That was it so far. Okay, I was waiting for more questions. Okay, right. So let's get started by talking about why we're discussing decorating tennis apparel. So what is the opportunity for garment decorators in the UK? So just to throw a few numbers at you to get a bit of a grip for how big the opportunity is within tennis, is as of early 2025, the UK has over 2,000 tennis clubs. I think the specific number was like 2019 or something. That's actually insane. There are 2,000 tennis-specific clubs in the UK that have printing opportunities for your business. Now, 1,900 of those are in England. So for those of you that are England-based businesses, happy days. Scotland, there are 150, and Wales, there are 62. So even in slightly smaller areas of the UK, there's still a lot of clubs, a lot of players, and a lot of opportunity. Now, the LTA, which for those of you that don't know what that is, it stands for the Lawn Tennis Association. I only know that because my family had been playing tennis for a while, and I was forced at a young age into learning what that was. So when it came to preparing for this live, I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about, but literally had no idea prior to that. So the LTA, which is basically the big governing body for tennis in England, has over 18,000 registered venues across the UK. So there might be over 2,000 clubs, but there's 18,000 registered LTA venues, like approved tennis locations, basically. This includes tennis clubs, schools, parks, community centres, gyms, all stuff like that. So anywhere that like plays tennis, has a club, has regular members, that all comes under that bracket of like 18,000 members and registered venues. So blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to bore you with what the LTA is. If people want to know, I can. I've got some bullet points, but we don't need to know that.
Let us know.
Let us know, exactly, yeah. Breaking it down into actual users and like people that participate. So for adults, between 2019 and 2023, the amount of people that participated in tennis across the UK grew by 44%, and it hit 5.6 million individuals in 2023. That was 2 years ago. Oh so it's probably grown a hell of a lot more since then. And like I said, over 18,000 registered venues, 2,000 tennis clubs, 5.6 million people that play tennis actively every single week in the UK. I was actually shocked by that number. Like, that's insane. Children, let's talk about kids for a second. So over the same time period, children's participation increased around 40%, so slightly less, but still massive. And there are 3.6 million children in the UK that participate in tennis. Now, this can include like schools. Best eye just to it, just a big number.
So much potential.
So much potential. Yeah, so that can include like schools and clubs and stuff like that, but also people that play for a hobby outside of school, teenagers, all of that kind of stuff. And club membership as an example. So people that actually are members to a specific tennis club in their spare time. In Scotland, club membership reached a record high of over 81,000 members by the end of 2024, which is a 42% increase from 2018 to now. And that obviously is just Scotland. So I don't have the specific number for England, but imagine, like, picture how big Scotland is and then picture how big England is. And if Scotland was over 81,000, how many is England going to be? That's a lot of people. Okay?
There's a lot to go out there for Mel from Drumnagoric.
Mel, get on the tennis clubs. You've got 81,000 people to approach to sell tennis wear to. But no, just in general, that gives you an idea as to how big this market is. Whenever we talk about specific industries, like we did Workwear Reimagined last week, we were talking about corporate workwear. We've done workwear fulfillment before. We've done, what was it, building, plumbing, like all of these different markets we discuss are all opportunities for those of you with a heat press to capitalize on. Now, it doesn't matter if your business is a brand or if you're trying to print fulfillment. If you have a heat press, you can serve these people with custom printed apparel. You don't have to market them as the same business. You don't have to promote your services to, your brand services to your fulfillment customers and the other way around. If you've got one heat press, you could run 2 to 3 different businesses to different markets and customers. So that's why we're talking about tennis today. The market and the opportunity for those of you that own a heat press is massive. We're talking over 18,000 possible venues in the UK that you could sell to. And I've lost my figure for the amount of people, 5.6 million people that actually participate in tennis, and that's just adults, okay? So what we're going to talk about today, obviously not only the opportunity, but if you want to print for these people, you need to be speaking their language. Now, it's no good just rocking up to a tennis club and being like, I print t-shirts. Here's one I prepared earlier, like 100% cotton. They're going to be sweating in whenever they're playing. No, there is a specific range of apparel that you need to learn how to decorate in order to sell into these markets, okay? So we've got a range of them today. I will just... Here's my table I prepared earlier with garments that we're going to be printing today. So we've got polyester shirts that we're going to print onto. We've got a range of different colors as well, because, you know, why not? It's fun. Most of this is white, as you can imagine. Whenever I picture tennis, I picture white, right? Like people running around in Wimbledon. I was like, no, we need to cover the generic basis today, but I have got some fun colors to print on as well.
Might be good for kids, the fun colors.
Exactly, yeah. And if you've got, I don't know, specific clubs or teams, they might want their own colors. We've got obviously hoodies and sweatshirts because we are in England and it's always cold. Even in the summer, people wear layers. So even if they wear like a polyester top to run around in, for example, they might wear their sweatshirt to and from the club or to and from their session. And then we've also got, which is the thing I'm most excited about printing on today, a couple of tennis specific options from Results. So this is a very, very breathable, very stretchy, like sport long sleeve full zip, which I'm very excited to print onto. And then we've also got, which we've never done on the live before, a women's like tennis dress, like little skort thing that we're gonna, it's a skort thing.
I have no idea.
What is it actually called?
No idea. If you know, comment and let us know.
Women's fitness dress.
Okay.
Okay. So for those of you curious, this is from Result, and this is the S799F women's fitness dress. It's breathable, quick dry, 22% elastane, 78% recycled polyester. So we're getting into some specialty fabrics as well, and we're going to show you exactly how you can heat print onto these. I feel like this would fit me as well.
Same.
It's really cute. And I don't even play tennis.
Also, the funny thing is prior to this live, Molly asked if she was allowed to go and play tennis on work time so that she can learn more about tennis. And now you've got your outfit.
Well, no, if you think about it, I would genuinely love to go around and ask people like what they would want to wear. Because it's all very well us standing here saying, this is what we think people should wear. Like, I would love to make a video going around tennis clubs and being like, what's your favorite piece of tennis apparel? How fun would that be? Can everyone comment that they would like to see that video? And then maybe management will let us go do that.
Guys. Don't do it.
Please do. Mel, comment.
Mel will do it.
So yeah, to my point, we've got a lot of stuff we're going to decorate today. And we are also going to touch on hats as well, because, you know, in the summer, if you're playing and it's sunny, you might not want to wear sunglasses because you might not be able to see, but you want to protect your face from A, the sun, but B, you want to be able to see the ball when you're playing. So yeah, we're going to touch on hats with the 360 IQ as well. So we've got a lot in store today.
So you've rambled for 15 minutes there.
Sorry.
What are we gonna print?
Oh, should we start on printing? I do apologise. Have we got any further questions or any regular viewers with us while I have a beverage?
Lots of regular viewers with us. We've got a couple of people asking more about the hat press as well. But we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Don't worry.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so I've rambled for a little bit. Let's do some printing. Let me just move this out of the shot. Okay, let's start with, which one do we start with? I feel like we start with basic polyester, right? So if you are playing a sport, the most, like the easiest option to cater for sport and fitness wearers is polyester, because it's quite breathable, like it's quick dry. So we've had the guys from All We Do Is send us over some supplies for this live, which was very kind of them. So we're going to decorate on a range of these. Now we have got men's and women's versions. I don't know what I did with the adult one. No, that's not it. There's a lot on this table right now, people. Here it is. This is the one I was looking for. So I believe this is the adults / like unisex fit. And then I think this looks like a women's cut, because like that would fit me.
Short sleeve.
But at the same time, it's not kids, is it? Because this is the small, like that's not a child small.
You can tell it's women's by the sleeve.
Yeah. So we've got men and women. So we're going to print both of these up today. How many transfers do I have? Do we have enough to print all of them? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I reckon we do. We'll just have to be sparing with the colors that we choose to decorate. So this is from, like I said, Ordis. This is their Just Cool range, and it's the JC001. This is a size medium, and this is probably like would be my go-to for anyone playing tennis, for example. So you can wear this and you can be very prepared for what you're going to print onto. Now, this is really easy to decorate, okay? This is actually one of the easiest polyester tops I've ever printed onto, and no one believes me when I say that this does not scorch. I've printed on like navy of these, does not scorch. No grit flex needed, no lower heat, all of that kind of stuff. This is the easiest 100% polyester shirt that I've ever printed on before. So we're going to start with this one today. So if you're building out a range and you want to be able to like fully offer your customers everything they're going to need for tennis, I would start with a basic t-shirt like this one. Okay, so plain, no collar, no zips, whatever going on. We're going to just start off with that one. Now I've opted for the single air fusion heat press today purely because I am going to be changing out lower platens and using pillows, and I can't be bothered to adjust the pressure every time because we've got a lot to do today in an hour. So I want to make sure I'm not wasting time faffing. So that's why I've opted for this machine, because it has air controlled pressure, which means regardless of what I put under this machine, it will automatically adjust the pressure to what I set it to, which will be medium, and I don't have to manually adjust it at all. So I'm not overpressuring, I'm not worried about pillows, I'm not worried about seams, pockets, buttons, all of that. So loading it on, built-in threadability, we've got the pedestal version today. It does come in a tabletop version as well, so if you want it to sit on like a cart like this one, you can do that as well, but it is threadable in both options, which is great because you can isolate the top area, have the remainder of the garment hanging underneath, which when we come to decorate stuff like this is really helpful because we don't want, you know, all of the excess stuff getting in the way from this garment. I'm going to bring it around for a pre-press. Would you please get me some release paper? I totally forgot to pick some up. Matt from Print Pro UK would be laughing right now because that's the one thing he said that I do on every single live is I'm very unprepared and I never have any release paper. So Matt, if you're watching this on demand all the way down under in Australia, I have no release paper today. Okay, 2-finger operation with the buttons on the side, so minimal like strain on the user for this. It's going to automatically open, swing away. Thank you very much. And we now have a garment that's ready to have a transfer applied onto it. Now, the reason that we pre-press, sorry, I can see myself moving out of frame in the phones. The reason that we pre-press is to remove any wrinkles and any moisture from the garment. Those of you that have been decorating and joining our lives for a while, I hope you will know this. But if you're new, then especially with polyester, like I reckon that can hold moisture quite a lot, which will affect the application of the transfer and how long it lasts as well. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of that out. Then we're going to take our heat transfer. Now, I am using a direct to film transfer today. However, if you are printing for sports clubs, I probably wouldn't recommend this transfer purely because if you are printing higher volumes, and we'll get onto this at the end, but if you're doing t-shirts, polos, if you're doing the tennis fitness dresses, the long sleeve tops, caps and stuff like that, you're going to be doing high volumes, and direct to film is not the best product to use for high volumes purely because the price of it doesn't change. Whereas if you use a ultra color, for example, or an inkjet screen printed heat transfer, the more transfers you order, the lower the price gets, which makes it a lot more profitable and a lot more scalable for you and your business, basically. But because today we're just demonstrating a few items, this is the transfer that I'm going to be using. So we're going with this really detailed design today for the tennis club. I'll just show the foams as well. There we go. So we've got a really nice detailed design. Tennis club, 1980, nice little floral design there. And we're going to do a left chest. Now, I'm going to do my little trick of gently finding the center point by not folding the actual transfer. I'm going to do this twice because otherwise you won't be able to see. But if you find the center point here and make a little mark in the top, you can find the center of your design. So again, find middle, don't damage the transfer, just put a little mark in it, and then you can find the top to the middle of the design. Now, we get a lot of questions about placement for left chest. So I'm going to put my skills to the test and see if I can actually get this right without any like lasers or ProPlace projection. So the rule tends to be, and I'll demonstrate for you on a different t-shirt. So what I'm going to do while it's on the press is use this seam line here where the actual like neckline meets the shoulder. That's going to be our center point. So I'm going to draw a line from here down to find where it's going to sit. And then I'm going to use the base of the sleeve to come in from the middle. If that, I'm just realized I'm knocking my microphone, so people probably can't hear me. But that's the sort of the triangle, if you like, that I'm going to use to find our left chest placement. So take the center fold that I made. We've just lost the release paper. Use the collar and go all the way down. And then I'm going to use the bottom of the sleeve as like a bit of a base for where that's going to sit. I am happy with that. Make sure it's straight. And then if I rescue our release paper, I'm just going to cover it over. You don't necessarily have to use release paper with direct to film transfers because they are a hot peel, but just to make sure that everything's perfect, I'm going to do that. 2-finger operation. Pressure is 50 psi, which is medium on the air compressor. Our temperature is at 145, which for polyester, I would normally fuse polyester at like 120, 130 maybe, with like ultra color transfers, for example. But let's see how it behaves with 145. So there we go. There is our first garment printed of the live.
That is decent placement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No complaints.
Is it left check? That's not bad.
That is not bad at all.
That is actually quite good. Okay, so that's how easy it is to print up like a piece of tennis apparel. So if you're, for example, printing for like a local club, doesn't even necessarily have to be like a professional club that competes. It could just be like a hobbyist kind of club, and they want like 10 or 20 branded t-shirts for their regular players. That's how easy it is to do. It's no different than heat printing for any other of your fulfillment customers or your sport or workwear. You just have to know the products to be printing onto, so what your customers want to wear, aka something that's breathable and lightweight, and also how to decorate it. So with ultra color transfers or inkjet transfers, the screen print result, you can get fine detail like this. It's a real soft, thin finish. It feels like it's part of the garment. When you're running around playing sport, you don't want to wear something that feels heavy or clunky on the shirt. You don't want a massive front or back print that's, you know, completely covered in ink that's going to make you sweat more when you're playing. You want something breathable. You want something that feels like it's meant to be in that garment, but you also want something to wear that relates to you and your sport and your club. Because let's be honest, if you are passionate about what you do in your spare time, if it's a passionate hobby of yours, you're going to want to wear something that makes you proud of the club that you play for, the sport that you play, and you're going to want to wear it. So you want to make sure it's good quality and that it's going to last ages as well. Now, while we're on the topic of longevity, obviously when you play a sport, you're probably playing, I don't know, let's say 2 to 3 times a week, let's say twice a week, like as an average. You're going to wash these a couple of times a week. Over a year, that's like 100 washes. That's a lot. These t-shirts are going to go through a lot of wear and tear. Not to mention like I say, the sweat when you're running around, like getting all hot and sweaty, exercising, playing tennis. So
diving on the floor to make sure you get the shot.
Are we still talking about tennis?
Yeah.
That's tennis. Volleyball, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
That could be a good live. Don't most people play volleyball like half naked though? How are we supposed to print for that?
They don't need baggy t-shirts for that. Yeah.
They don't need baggy t-shirts. No.
Anyway,
longevity. You're going to want to make sure that you're using a transfer product to decorate and brand up these garments that is going to last. Now, I guarantee you that the Styles UK heat transfers, whether that be our direct to film heat transfers, our Inktra screen print, our ultra color, digital, like full color, which to be honest, if you had a full color logo, that would be really cool to do with like ultra color, with the blends of the tennis ball, like that would look so good. But all of our custom heat transfers will outlast the garment. They've been industrially wash tested, and that t-shirt that we've just printed on, sorry Audis, but your t-shirt will fall apart before this transfer goes anywhere. And we will put that to the test. Like I will happily go and put this now without like literally, we've done one press, hot peel. I'll go and shove this in a washer, chuck it through the industrial machine that we've got here, and I will prove to you that that will not budge. And like I said, the detail on that as well, like you would expect little bits of that to sort of come off over time.
Especially with printing over a perforated material.
Exactly, like it has got, can they see that? Like,
yeah, you can just see a light texture, yeah.
Yeah, like it's really...
It's perfect, it's breathable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is 100% polyester. So yeah, we are 100% confident that that will last on there. So that is garment number 1. So if you're offering sports clubs, tennis clubs, printed apparel, I would recommend starting with 100% polyester t-shirt, printed nicely with no scorching and confidence that it will last. And that feels really nice as well. This t-shirt from Ordis is a good quality one. So you wouldn't pick that up and go, well, that feels like a cheap polyester t-shirt. This feels good. So that's garment number 1.
You'd defo wear that to Schmimbledon.
Schmimbledon. Are we allowed to say that?
I have no idea.
I'm just going to hold fire.
If I call it Fimbledon,
Fimbledon.
Or Schmimbledon or
I'm just going to place my garments here so that I don't lose track of what we've done. So 100% polyester t-shirt as the first thing that we've printed. Now let's move on to the same fabric, but we have the women's version as well. We'll print that later if we get time. We also have got for the men. Okay, so some men might be happy with the t-shirt, happy days if they do. They might want something with a bit more like structure. Okay, so now we've got this top here, which again is from Ordis, and this is the JC040. Again, they did send me 2. I think this is the children's one, JC045. This might be women's actually. Cute. That looks more like a women's one, and then this is bigger. That looks more like a men's. So this is a size, they're both size mediums, I think. Oh no, this is a small. Okay, we'll go with the medium. So yeah, if you're printing for the clubs, I would recommend having an option like this because it's the same fabric, and the only thing that you need to be aware of when printing this that's different to the t-shirt is the collar on the top and of course the buttons on the first like quarter of the shirt. So what we're going to do is use the same heat press, but in order to make this print look just as good as the first one, I'm going to utilize my pillow. Now, we could use interchangeable plattens very easily. And with this machine, all you have to do is unlock the lever here and pull this platen out, swap it for a smaller one, and isolate that area. However, what we're going to do today is use the heat printing pillow. Now, the reason I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to pop it on this press just like this. Those of you that have seen me use pillows before, sometimes I do release the quick slip cover on here and lock it underneath just so it doesn't move around. But for sake of speed today, I'm just going to leave it on here. Now, what's going to happen is when I thread, if I was to thread this t-shirt onto here without the pillow, just the standard 40 by 50 centimeter platen, threads on very nicely with threadability. We're very happy with that. We can even pull like off here so that the collar's hanging off and we're not printing on that part of it. However, we still have to contend with the buttons that are on the front here and the double layer of fabric and the seams and all of that. So this is going to affect our pressure because if I bring this heat press back around, the over center pressure that Hotronics machines has is not only extremely accurate, but it covers the entire platen. So this press is going to read our pressure number from the highest point of this garment underneath, which at this point is the seam and the buttons on the top 3/4. Now, we don't want that because it means that when we go to put our tennis print on the left chest, that part of the fabric isn't going to be getting the actual pressure, like the medium pressure reading we want it to get, because this press will adjust to the highest point, which is not where that transfer is going to sit. So what we're going to do is remove this, place our pillow on here, and then reload our t-shirt back on. And what this is going to enable us to do is push down the buttons and the seams into the pillow. So when this press comes back around and comes down, it will push these into the padding of the pillow and create that flat surface area that we always talk about when it comes to time, temperature, and pressure. Okay, so make sure it's straight. Going to use my cover sheet just to cover up the buttons here. I have still got that collar pulled off because we don't need to have additional things to worry about isolating. 5-second pre-press, and I've added in a very chunky pillow, plus we've got the buttons to contend with, and our pressure is still at a 50 because it's automatically adjusted it for me. That looks great. I'm happy with that. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get another transfer. I'm going to find the middle point just by making that little mark in the top. And same rule for the left chest. We're going to use the center of where the neck meets the shoulder seam, bring it down. And then for this one, actually, you can use the base of like the arm, but I always quite like to use the collar like buttons on this as well, because I find that the base of where that button finishes is often a good like base point for the transfer. So if I use that as the bottom, that's kind of perfect.
Does depend on the size of your shirt as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It is different for every t-shirt that you do. And I think that's one of the most common questions we get is, oh, how do you do it? Just by like eyeballing it every time. But when you're new to decorating, it seems quite overwhelming. But once you've done even a couple of orders, like it just becomes second nature. And if you are struggling with placement and it doesn't become second nature over time, we do have tools and systems for this, aka laser alignment. We have the Pro Place. We've got an ebook for design and placement. So there's a lot that we can help you guys out with. So there you have your second tennis piece of apparel.
Decent.
How's the placement looking on that?
We'll ask Mel because she said it was spot on last time.
Mel,
so what do you think, Mel?
What's my placement like? Let me know. It's very hard to get this collar to actually look right. There we go.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So again, another close up. This is the same design. I'm actually really liking this tennis design. I'm not going to lie.
I can foresee you wearing this around the office.
I want the dress. I might put the dress on afterwards. Make like one of those transition reels. Okay. So second option. So we've got 100% polyester t-shirt as option one. Add in something like this for the men, even the women. Like you say, I think Orders do offer men and women's versions of this. They offer kids versions as well. So you can literally print up any range of items for any like gender and give people the option. Like some people might prefer wearing something like this with a collar. Some people might just prefer the t-shirt. But being able to print both and be confident that this will last every single time is what's going to make you the heat printer that stands out from competitors, secures the job, and yeah, gets repeat orders because they'll wash this over the course of a year or two and it will still look amazing.
We love you, Mel. You're so supportive.
What
She
did
says
you say?
you're doing a grand job.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mel.
She's so supportive. She's our number one hype gal.
I feel like even if I was to get it wrong, Mel would be like,
Yeah.
looks great.
Looks great, really well done.
Okay, what time are we on, Beth?
past.
Okay, brilliant. Let's move on then to, we've got a lot going on here today, guys. Let's move on to the,
Oh, she knocked a light over because she
Whoopsies.
threw a garment at it, but it's fine. It's still
caught the rail.
working.
Sorry, everyone. Technical issue.
No
If
more
that-
throwing, please.
If that breaks, don't tell the bosses.
No more throwing.
I was aiming for the chair. It's still on the what? That's it's going to pull the wire down. I look behind you.
Oh.
That's why it went over. Okay, let's look now at the stretchy fabrics. Okay, so let's print onto these. Should we do the jacket first or the dress? I kind of want to do the jacket
Yeah,
first.
do the jacket. It looks cool.
So like we've said before, having layering options for people that play tennis in the UK, England, Wales, Scotland, blah, 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 is great because we live in a cold country and you want to have layers. Now, the hoodie and the sweatshirt is great, but if you're actually playing sport and you're warming up, sometimes that can be too much. And I personally really like wearing this kind of thing to the gym because you can wear it a little bit longer without getting too hot and sweaty. And it's just not as bulky. It's a bit more like wearable and it feels nicer to wear. So I have a really good option here for you from Result. And I'd recommend having both of these in your like product range for your customers. Now, like I said before, this is from Result. Now this product is the S798F women's fitness jacket. And it's again, 78% polyester, 22% elastane. Now this is a full zip on the front and we've got pockets and seams as well. So I'm going to stick with the pillow on this one, but just carry out the exact same process. So we're going to thread it on to isolate that top layer. We're going to utilize our pillow to make sure that any seams and like bulky parts of it are pushed in so that we can get that flat surface area. And then we're just going to print exactly the same as we did before.
We just had an account join that's called 123 Cup of Tea.
That's an excellent
I
username.
love that.
I don't drink tea, but I really like that name.
More rhyming Instagram usernames, please.
It's best preference for contenders on the live. Okay, another transfer. And like I said, I am using direct to film transfers today, but I would recommend using ink to screen print transfers if you're printing for tennis and high volume clubs. Why is the press only gone halfway? Excuse me, I need my heat-free workspace.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay, using the collar, center point, down, base of the arm, smack bang in the middle. There we go. If you guys are having problems with, my microphone's like partly fallen down. If you guys are having problems with scorching, on white garments, it's normally a lot better than it is dark garments. So I'm not too concerned with how this is coming out. But if you are printing onto things that have got like that mark up a bit easier, or for example, like I said, the polyester tops from all this I've marked, I've printed on like navy and black before and they haven't scorched at all. But if you are printing on things like this elastane and it's scorching, and maybe you need a bit more protection than just the cover sheet, we do have methods and videos around how to avoid scorching. So if that's a problem for you, then leave us a comment below and we can get back to you and help you out with that. But chances are, if you're printing stuff like this, you should be okay.
I would also love to know, if you're printing sports, what is like the what's the right word? What's the most common sport order that you get through?
What you mean in terms of
Football,
sport?
rugby,
like,
tennis?
Okay, not like garment, like actual what the
just
sport
love to know,
category is.
Yeah, what category people are currently
That's a really good question, actually. Okay, and there you have, I don't know why I'm holding it like that.
That looks so nice.
The zip up jacket. So this is, so just for everyone's like reference, really, really like soft, smooth, like typical like gym fabric, I would call it, on the front. There. And then on the back, it's the same, but it also has like this mesh panel at the top, which I love because it's a bit more, again, breathable.
For when the top of your neck gets sweaty.
Oh, that's, yeah.
But you know it's happening.
Like that,
it's happening in tennis.
But it's just, and actually like this fabric, like I would wear this.
She's literally trying it on, guys.
No, I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to put it on. I'm just saying like this fabric is so soft. Like I really, really like it. Like I said, personally own stuff in this material and just wear it like out on the weekends, and it's so comfortable. And chances are, if somebody does play for a tennis club and they're just going out, I don't know, on a Sunday for a coffee or something, and they're not playing tennis, if you've just got like leggings or shorts on in the summer and you want to chuck a jacket on, people, like I said, that are proud of their club and are proud of their sport would probably just throw this on over the top anyway. So it's not even just stuff to wear to tennis. It's stuff that you would wear day to day anyway, like to the gym and stuff like that. Just because it's got that little logo on it doesn't mean that this isn't the kind of garment people would want to wear to the gym. If you're printing for a brand, this kind of top could be exactly what you need to add in with your, I don't know, like sports top, leggings, jogger range. There's so much opportunity, not just within the tennis market, but with the ability to print onto this kind of fabric and this sort of product is really game changing for anyone that has a heat press. And you've seen how easily I just did that. Like, look at that. That looks so good. That looks really premium.
It's nice. Hello to Custom Designs by Nat, who's just joined us. Mel says, love the grip flex for delicate items.
The grip flex is a good one. Yeah, luckily we don't need it today, but that is one of the steps if you have got problems with scorching.
Yeah, if you're working with like darker fabrics or more heat sensitive fabrics, that's perfect for that.
Okie dokie, let's move on to the women's fitness dress, which is very, very tennis, very Fimbledon. Fimbledon. I think we can say Wimbledon.
We probably can,
it's not trademarked, is it?
But it's fun. It's more fun to say Bimbledon.
Yeah.
Or Schlimbledon.
For Wimbledon, this is probably one of the most popular items. Again, from Result, women's fitness dress. The code for those of you, if you're interested, is the S799F. Again, same blend of polyester and elastane. Exactly the same process as before. Now, this is where the threadability really comes into its own, because there's a lot going on here that we don't necessarily, this skirt's massive, that we don't actually want to heat print onto. So I'm going to thread it like this, but we're going to make sure to isolate. This is why you put the pillow under the quick slip so it doesn't move. We can push and tuck all of this excess skirt away under the press that we don't need to be printing on.
Look at that hang.
Look at that. Look at that. So what we were talking about before about accurate pressure with the double layer of fabric and the the buttons on the polo top kind of applies here as well, because we don't have buttons and things like that on this dress, but we do have seams here that don't fall off the edge of the plaiting. Now I want to apply, I'm going to have to take this off again now to show you, which is really annoying because I've just got it on there. But we want to apply to the left chest. Okay, so we're applying here, but obviously the square plaiting is going to come to like an edge here. So we're going to have a bit of this on the plaiting. This is a thicker seam than where we actually want to apply the transfer to. So we want to make sure that, again, we're pushing these seams into the pillow, which is why I've left it on there. So let's reload this on. Just like that. I'm just going to pull the pillow in a little bit. Push that over the edge. And I can now confidently apply to the left chest area without worrying about these seams affecting the pressure. Again, we're going to carry out a pre-press. Best practice, we're going to remove all of that moisture from the garment that we don't want. No, we're not, because the quick slip cover's just moved. Just slot that back in there. That didn't happen. There we go. Give it a pre-press. And again, we've done a lot of left chest today. I feel like I'm gonna have to do something different on the other polos.
I feel like that is tennis though, because tennis designs are very elegant. It's very minimal. Like Schmimbledon, as an example, you're not allowed to have really big logos. People aren't even allowed to wear like traditional branded shoes and stuff. You have to have logos covered up.
Yeah, plain white is always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. So if we're going based off that,
that was a bit aggressive.
Minimalistic colours.
This cover sheet does not want to stay in place today.
It's curling with the heat, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I've used it a little bit. This isn't a new piece either. We should have broken out a new bit for the sake of the live.
Should have got prepared with the.
That wasn't a dig.
I've picked up the wrong piece of cover sheet, guys. I've ruined the live.
It's all gone wrong.
And it's my fault.
It would have been so much better. I'm joking. Okay, so hop heel again, pull that off, and there you have.
I can't wait for you to build a rail out of these.
With all due respect, your head is in the way of
That's
my.
gonna look so good.
There you go. I can see now. It does look good, doesn't it? How fun! I actually am loving this right now. What sport should we do next, guys? Comment below what sport you want us to print for next, because I feel like these garments are so different to what we normally print on. Also, placement, please.
Yeah, that looks banging.
It could probably be a bit lower, actually.
I would say the technical word for that is banging.
Banging. I would put that a little, I don't know, actually.
No, because of the way the collar casually flops over.
Yeah.
That's not a stiff collar.
But also, you would wear it like that. Like my hat, like your shoulders are more like that, aren't
You're
they?
overthinking it. Next garment.
Sorry, guys. I just can't believe how good that looks. Like, look at that. That looks amazing.
Roman says, nice work.
Nice work. Thanks,
Thank
Roman.
you.
Really appreciate that. Okay, so far, let's do a little recap of what we've covered in the live. So we have printed onto your basic garment that would be your go-to 100% polyester t-shirt. Really easy to print onto. No seams, buttons, whatever required. Just a simple load on, thread left chest, happy days. That's that done. Option 2, if you've got men at the club, which let's be honest, a lot of clubs do have very even men to women ratios, I would recommend using something like this, which is the JC040. The collar, the polo polyester, very, very easy to print as well with a pillow or an interchangeable platen, which all Hotronix machines have. The jacket as a throw-over option, which is always really good if you're doing sports. Layering up for cold weather in the UK, warming up, wearing at the weekends. This honestly is so, I'm really impressed with this. This is from Result. And this is the, where is it? Women's Fitness Jacket S798F. Unsure if they make these for men's, but I'm pretty sure they do unisex versions as well. So just check. I got this on Rallowise.
Result, if you listen, send us another one.
Yeah, Result, if you want to send us a few more of these to do another video on, we'd love that. And then we've got the women's fitness dress as well, which again, code-wise, for those of you that are interested, is the S799F women's fitness dress. And again, really easy to print. All of these have come up an absolute dream. They look really, really nice.
Very impressed with those.
Very, very, very impressed. Okay, so
it's 1:45, just as a time check.
Okay, it's all good. I'm gonna do the hoodie as well, because again, if you're wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and you want something just cozy to chuck on over the top, a hoodie is always a great option. Hoodie, sweatshirt. You could do a zip, and again, require with the pillow just to print that evenly. But we are not going to require that today. Do you know what? I think because of the pocket on the front, I'm going to leave the pillow on there just to make sure that this doesn't affect our pressure. But yeah, we're going to do just a nice plain white chunky hoodie. This one is, I believe, did you say Build Your Brand, this hoodie?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's really nice quality. Again, if you're printing for clubs like tennis clubs, people that play for them are often going to be very proud of their sport. They'll be happy to pay more for something that feels better quality, that they think is going to last and that they want to wear. Okay, so you're much better off picking garments like this hoodie that might cost you a few more pounds to buy at like wholesale, but if you can sell them for another like £5 to £10, then especially if you're bundling items up and people are buying multiple things, which is a great idea if you're printing for sports, then I would definitely recommend using like better quality products, to be honest with you. Okay, let's give this a pre-press. Again, I've changed up what I'm printing, so the pillow's still under there, but we've gone from a thin polyester item to a much thicker hoodie. Pressure is still exactly on a 50, and I haven't had to adjust a thing, which is another reason we love this Air Fusion IQ machine. I'm going to go for a little center placement, I think. Mix it up a little bit. I'm a bit sick of left chest, to be honest. So let's chuck this one in the middle.
You love a center placement, don't you?
I do. Do you know what? I do love a center placement, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's one of my favourites.
It's definitely a growing trend, just like a little logo.
It's a brand thing, isn't it? Like, yeah, the like not even big prints, just like the little 6 to 10 centimetre size.
Minimalistic, classy.
Yeah.
Which is tennis.
Which is perfect for tennis when you think about it, yeah. That lifts away, hot peel.
Right.
And we've lost the pillow.
floor.
Oh well. And there's your tennis hoodie. The quality on this, honestly, just looks so good.
Show the phone.
Sorry. How good does that look?
Nice.
So yeah, there we have another layer option for building out your bundles if you're printing for sports clubs. Like I said before, selling bundles is actually a really great idea, not just if you're printing for sports, but just in general within your business, especially if it's like workwear, corporate fulfillment, that kind of thing. People are going to want multiple items. If they're wearing it to work, they're not just working one day a week. If they are, then that's very lucky of them, but most of us don't work one day a week. If you're playing sport, like I said, you're probably playing once, if not twice a week. You're going to wash these a lot. You're going to want a t-shirt option. If you're a woman, you're probably going to want a hoodie option. You're going to want a long sleeve polyester option. There are so many different elements to this that I would definitely recommend offering bundles with a slight discount maybe, so people feel like they're getting a deal as well and saving a bit. And it also increases your average order value. If you can sell every team or every, let's say like woman, a t-shirt, a polo, a dress if they want it, but even if not, like a hoodie and a zip up, 4 items versus 1, even if you knock like 10-15% off that, that's still a much bigger order than you would have had initially anyway.
Brand wrap up for Mel. So the hoodie was Build Your Brand, which is a brand.
Mm-hmm.
The dress and the zip up was Result, and then the polyester like t-shirt as well as the polo was Audis.
Okay, moving on. Now I know we have got some other colours here. I'm not going to print on all of them because we don't have time today, but I'm just going to show you some of the options. So these are, again, the same JC001 t-shirts that we were printing on in white. This is a really, really nice purple colour that I really like. We've got the really bright yellow, which I feel like for tennis coaches and stuff, let's not forget about coaches. They will also need branded apparel, probably more so than the clubs because they're trying to promote their business. And if you see a coach running around in this and everyone else wearing white, then you know who the coaches are. So again, make sure you're considering that. And then we've also got this blue colour, which I really like. These are just the ones that caught my eye. And if we get time after we've used the 360, I will print a couple of these up as well. But I just really like these. And again, they're from Just Cool Audis JC001. 100% polyester tees, do not scorch, print really well, really nice quality. And yeah, just include options in your range. Offer people the colours because I think personally that they look really good. And if you're printing with like black or white logos, which 9 times out of 10 you will be for clubs like this, you can get away with printing on variations of colours. So, okay, let's move on to the 360 IQ hat press. Can everybody see what we're doing? Fabulous. Now, if you're printing for tennis, then like I said, caps are a massive, massive part of people that play sport. If it's an outdoor sport like tennis is and you play throughout the summer, then you want to make sure that you're not, protecting your face, but that you can see the ball when it's coming towards you. Probably ideal. So we're going to show you how you can print onto a range of caps today. Now, I kind of ruined this one a little bit with, I didn't apply it properly, so ignore the marking in the middle. But look at the white on white effect for that. This is with like a 3D
subtle
effect. but I think it looks really good.
That's subtle, right?
Everyone see
Bring
that?
it back a touch. There we go. Get the light there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is with our silicone transfer, our brand new 700 micron thick 3D silicone heat transfer. No cutting, no weeding required. It will literally arrive to you like this, ready to be applied to the cap or to the garment. You could absolutely apply these onto the garments that we've just been applying as well. But again, for like tennis, I don't know if I'd want that on a polyester t-shirt because it is a bit thicker and a bit heavier. Maybe on the hoodie, if it's like the brand or the club name or something. But the good news is with all of these different options, you can take the options to your customer and let them decide. So if you print up a couple of examples and take them with you, they can tell you what they do and don't want to order. So what we're going to do today is just print up a couple of hats with our silicone transfer as an example. I am going to be using the black ones just because that's what I've got to hand. But like I say, these are screen print transfers, so you can order them in whatever color you want. They're Pantone matched as well. So if you've got a club that's got a specific color that they want you to use, then you can confidently offer that as well. Okay, so with the 360 IQ hat press, we get a lot of questions about this. Now, the reason we talk about this hat press so much is because it is the most advanced hat press on the market. Not only has it got upper heat from this platen, but this platen on the bottom is heated as well, and it's also molded. So not only can you heat print a range of different hats without having to change the lower platen, you can also decorate all panels of the hat. So, you know, sometimes you see people will have like something on the front, but they'll also have like a little something above the like ponytail hole at the back. You can do that as well with this press. You literally just put it on and you can spin it and print like all areas of the hat, which is really cool. But because of the lower heat, you can also apply thicker decorations like this silicone transfer, because the majority of the heat you need comes from the bottom. You can lower the temperature on the top, which means that the heat you need for the application hits the adhesive quicker because it's coming from the bottom, but it also prevents marking on the hats as well, which again, like I've said, for white isn't really as much of an issue because white doesn't mark up as easily as black does. But if you're printing onto, we've got some navy hats over there, some black ones, that could always be a problem for scorching. So with the lower heat, you can increase that, decrease the heat on the top and reduce the scorching and marking. And the molded platen really helps with that as well because it molds to the shape of the hat rather than your hat being sort of stiff on a platen that doesn't really fit it properly. So in order to heat print this, I'm just going to pull out the sweatband of my hat.
Question.
Yes.
What type of fabric is that hat?
This hat is a Beachfield hat.
Does it feel like a denim?
I got two. Here you go.
Oh, she's throwing garments again.
This is...
Oh, it feels like a cotton twill, actually. The only reason I ask is because somebody said, can you use it on denim?
On denim?
There's no reason why not.
What do you use what on denim?
Like silicone.
Oh, I don't see why not. This is 100% cotton. Yeah, and then this other one, this isn't actually Beachfield. This is the Classics, and this is 100% cotton as well. Yeah.
I'm going to throw this back at you now.
Okay. Huh. So, yeah, these are both 100% cotton, but this one feels a bit thicker, to be honest. So we'll go with that. But yeah, pull out the sweatband, load it onto the press like that. The lever on the side here pulls it tight to the molded platen. Can they all see that? Shall I twist it? Is that better?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and then it pulls it tight to this lower platen. Now, if I put my hand on there, that's warm. I can feel that heat coming through. So we don't need to pre-press because, like I said before, the reason for pre-press, remove moisture, remove creases. That is doing that from the lower heated platen already. We're going to take our silicone heat transfer, and I'm going to use heat tape to secure it into place because I don't want it to move and I don't want a wonky result. So I'm just going to take a bit of heat tape like that so I can just secure it where I want it to go. I'm going to place it onto the side of the hat. Get it centered. And then these hat presses come with these foam pads. Now, you tend to match the thickness of the foam pad with the thickness of the decoration. In the UK, you're never really going to use anything thicker than the thinnest foam pad. It does come with two thicker ones, but to be honest, you don't really need those ones. Place it over the top and lock it into place. Now, for silicone, the settings for this heat press are 140 on the top, 160 on the bottom, and we're fusing for 45 seconds. Okay, so it's a really quick application for a 3D effect. And when you consider like embroidery on a hat, for example, can take like 10 to 20 minutes, less than a minute for a 3D application, that's nothing. Excuse me, I'm swallowing my own words there. I do need a water.
Have a water.
We're getting to the end now. That's why I've been talking for an hour.
Have a water, because while that pops, I can always tell somebody about.
It's okay. I'm going to keep going because otherwise I'll forget what I was going to say. But with the 360 IQ, you don't necessarily have to have 2 operators. You can have one person operating this machine at the same time, because like you saw earlier, an Inktra transfer or like an ultra color transfer takes like 10 to 12 seconds to apply. So you could maybe do 1 or 2 of those while the hat press is fusing for 40 to 50 seconds. So you can just literally run these 2 presses alongside each other when you're actually in like the production line. And then here you have your finished results. You can see on there is like no marking on that cap whatsoever. That 3D result on there looks amazing. Let's show everyone.
Take it back. That's better.
No marking on there. You can see the 3D effect. And yeah, because obviously we've got black on white today, but you could do white on white. You could do literally any color if you want to Pantone match it. We've got, what is it, over like 600 stock colors, plus we can add specific ones if you need them. And if you're offering stuff like this to the tennis club, it's just nice to be able to offer the matching options. Obviously, I don't have like a tennis club design today because these are just the silicone examples that we have in the showroom. But yeah, if you're offering like the hoodie, for example, and the cap to go with it, then you've got a full range. We can also print bags. We can also imagine printing tennis bags. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I'll show that actually as well.
Somebody just asked, can you print bucket hats?
You can print bucket hats. Before I do that though, let's just quickly touch on the fact that with these heat presses, interchangeable platens and all of that, you can heat print onto so many accessories. So duffel bags, for example, what are people going to put all of their snacks, their drinks, their tennis balls in? People have tennis bags. I guarantee you we could print a tennis bag on here. If anybody wants to see us print an actual like specific tennis bag that's the shape of the racket that I know a lot of people have, let us know and I'm sure we can find one and get one of those in to test print as well. Yeah, I don't know, like towels, for example. What else do people have in this, like in the winter, maybe like gloves, socks? You can print everything with these machines, especially with the lower heat from the 360 as well. Should I chuck a transfer on the back of this? Do you care if I go for the other side of it?
Do you have a white one that would show up on it?
No, but I'll put a black one on it. They'll be able to see. So yeah, you can print bucket hats. Let's put this on the 360. So this is what I'm talking about when I say you can literally heat print any hat. So this is totally different to the one we've just done. Load it on, pull it tight so it molds to the platen. Make sure the chunky seams are off. I'll take the exact same silicone transfer. Again, I am going to tape it because I don't trust that it won't move. Place it on there. Oh, there is a, hang on. There's a sweatband in here.
There is a sweatband.
Which I'm definitely about to ruin.
So somebody asked about printing a bucket hat from Mantis World. The one Molly's printing is the new vintage wash from Beachfield.
Really nice.
And it's in denim, which that same person asked about denim earlier. So yeah, the possibilities are kind of endless with the hat press, really.
They honestly, I know that sounds like a marketing tagline, but it's so true. Like you can print anything. We've printed like fleece on this before because of the lower heat, and you can really take down that heat on the top platen. And with the foam pad, it offers almost like a grip flex level, like protection with the heat, doesn't it? So you can print so much on here. Imagine maybe we should do like a winter sport version where we print like the quarter zip fleeces and stuff like that, because that's totally doable. We have got a video printing on tri-dry fleece actually on our YouTube channel. So if you just go on YouTube and search fleece, we did that with the power platen, which obviously fits these machines, but the principle of the lower heat is the same. And if you're just doing left chest and your transfer will fit on the base of the 360, you don't need the big press setup. You can do it with one of these. Release that. Then try and not
burn yourself while you're peeling.
Yeah, that's the only, I forgot to put like a lip on the tape.
Perfect.
And then, I mean, it's black on blue, so it's not as, it doesn't stand out as much, but yeah, there you go. That's how you print your bucket hat.
Yeah, looks good.
It looks really good. So now we've got
2 looks.
stars on the front, K on the back. Sorry, Beth, I've ruined your sample. Yeah, so you can print anything. What is the time and do we have any questions?
It is 1 o'clock.
Is it?
Yeah. People are just saying amazing, great.
Fabulous.
They're complimenting you.
Okay, brilliant. If we don't have any further questions, I am going to wrap this up. To recap what we've covered, over 2,000 tennis clubs in the UK, over 18,000 registered tennis venues, and 5.6 million adults, 3.6 million children playing tennis. Make sure you're choosing the right apparel, printing up examples and taking them with you. Think about what people want to wear. Think about how they're going to feel when they're wearing them. Print up t-shirts, print up polos, print up long sleeve zips, print up the tennis dresses that are available from Result. Make sure you don't forget about caps, accessories, everything that can be printed with the right equipment and with the right transfers. If you guys have questions on the transfers or the heat presses that we've used today, do drop them in the comments, send us a DM, get in touch in one way, shape or form. We can help you out with that. I will reiterate what I said initially. I was using DTF today, but I recommend Inktra screen printed transfers for printing for tennis clubs. Ultra Color Pro if you're printing full color designs, but 9 times out of 10 it will be black or white, so Inktra is your best bet. Reason for this is because the more you order, the lower the price gets, so it's scalable. And if you're printing for sports like tennis clubs, chances are you're going to print more than 2 to 5 items, so you're going to want that scalable pricing. Left chest is probably the most popular, like the little 6x6 we were using today, but you can print up to A3. You can have jumbo gang sheets if you want to do big back prints for like trendy youth clubs. Yeah, we've covered a lot in today's live. Will be available on demand like Netflix and Prime if you want to watch it back and replay this.
We've got lots of thank yous coming in. Mel says, thank you as always, ladies. Losby says, thank you. Lion Dig Verbs says, towels would be good. Also, if you're looking for different sports, can you do rugby football session with a kit bag? I'm in a university city, so perfect for September. Loved this session. Thank you.
We love it. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. Any questions, let us know, and we'll be back in another couple of weeks with another